Hello everyone, this is Food is a Conversation Alumni Edition, number 18. I'm so happy to be back, and today's guest is someone who was part of my journey with Future Food during the Food Innovation Master Program. So I'm super happy to have her on the call. These conversations are meant to introduce the ecosystem members who attended any of the educational program organized by the Future Food Institute. Innovation Masters, summer schools, the boot camps what we organize with FAO. Watch out because we're actually launching the digital version in July. Hi Rita.
Hi.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Perfect. I just quickly finish the intro and then we can start with talking about you. So these sessions happen twice a week in two different times to make sure that we can cover different time zones because as you can imagine, the alumni is all over the world. And so this week we will have another conversation on Thursday morning, 8:30 a.m. CET. And what else? I encourage everyone to please post your questions in the chat field, and I will make sure that we will find time to answer them. And these are rather casual conversations, so no heavy topics. It's rather about getting to know each other, getting to know Rita in this case, and her story with Future Food and her relation to food and how has her journey continued since we met in 2018. So, Rita, the stage is yours.
Okay. So, hi, Julia. Hi, everybody. So, my name is Rita, and I'm also a tutor. I'm a food educator, right now working in Poland at the University of Life Science and on the project connected to school cafeterias.
Nice. So, where exactly in Poland are you based?
Exactly in Warsaw. I mean, I was kind of working part-time in Płock, but now I'm moving to Warsaw because I need to be there all the time.
Nice. I really like that city. I can encourage everyone to go and visit once we can again. Maybe plan a longer trip so you can see other parts of Poland as well and enjoy the delicious food.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
You were a former food innovation master student, exactly one year, like not 1 year, but one edition before me. And tell me, how did you actually find the program? What was the motivation to join?
Mhm. Okay, so I was actually graduating from Università degli Studi Scienze Gastronomiche in Polenzo. I was doing the master in food and health, Cibo e Salute, and it was targeting, connection between food and health. And so it was designed for the doctors and public health carriers. And it was very scientific, and it was looking from the microscopic scale of food and how it connects to health, and it was also looking at the macro scale, so at the climate change and agriculture, what are the effects of conventional agriculture and organic agriculture. And it was super interesting. I loved it. I learned so much. I got really passionate about educating about food, but I was missing one thing. I was missing the innovation in food. And I didn't just want to say that all the innovation is bad and only the tradition is good. I just wanted to learn more, and I wanted to connect somehow myself to this big players that are actually creating now the food, the innovative food, and the new scenery of the food. So I started Googling it, and I found food innovation program, which was very interesting. So that's how it began.
And it was then not the big switch because you were actually in Italy, you just needed to move to a different region, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
in the north, and I moved more to the south, to Reggio Emilia. Yeah, I was in Palenzo, so it
Yeah.
wasn't a switch. It was switch in the field of the study, because as I said it before, it was all connected to like health and tradition and organic agriculture, and here was like the innovation and new technologies and 3D printers and and going from one country to another, from one continent to another. So definitely the speed was different.
Yeah, exactly. That brings me to the next point. You also had the experience of the global mission, which, let's be honest, is a very unique part of the program. How was that? How did that add to the curriculum of inspiration, aspiration, and oh my God, perspiration? Yes. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, so global mission was an amazing experience, and I was, remember how I was telling you, even though it was stressful and everybody has doubts, I was telling you that this is just incredible, and I'm extremely grateful for future, for future food and food innovation program that I was able to do it. So for me, it was everything. Like I at the Unis at Polenzo, I started already to research school cafeterias, right? So my idea was that food education is crucial for a healthy society, and we need to start the earliest possible. So I did the research about school cafeterias, and I extended it during Global Mission. So I did school cafeterias around the world, tradition, innovation, and it gave me such a lookout to all these amazing schools, to all these environments, to all these future heroes, and it gave me knowledge that is really unique. Now I am in Poland, and it's not a lot of people have that kind of experience and knowledge. So again, extremely grateful, and recommend to everybody this experience.
Yeah. So your connection to education is very strong. Like from the beginning of the conversation, basically, it's like a following theme. Have you done anything before you actually studied in Italy? Have you already done some kind of educational projects in Poland?
Yes, so I was actually a journalist, and I was writing about food mostly, and we were doing a lot of workshops, because I was connected to slow food. I'm connected to slow food for more than 10 years, so I did with them also a lot of workshop, a lot of food education, and I was doing that also in Poland. So we were doing events, workshop, lessons, and I was writing about food. But the more I was writing, the more I realized, oh my God, I need to learn more. I need to study. It's like there's so much misinformation. So that's
Yeah.
why I chose the study in Italy.
Yeah. And then this experience continued because you stayed to help us with our master program first, and then you moved to another school in Italy before going back to Poland, where you are now working in a university. So tell me a bit more about these educational projects.
Like universities, as you can see, a lot. My favorite place in the world are universities. Yeah. So yes, of course. So when I graduated from VIP, I wasn't ready to move, and there was this chance of tutoring you guys, so tutoring the new group, and so I did that, and it was amazing to meet all of you, and whatever I can give you of my knowledge and experience, I try to give. But then this new job came along, and it was actually kind of amazing because it was American and Italian foundation. It's called Friends of Spanokia, and it was situated in the medieval castle. It was an organic farm, and basically it has this program for students from all over the world that are coming for 3 months, and they are learning how to be an organic farmer. And I saw they have this educational field, and the educational lessons about food. So I became a director of education there, and I was tutoring those students for 1 year, so a little bit more, 1.5 years.
Yes. And now you are back in Poland.
And
So
now I'm back in Poland.
what classes do you give? Is this how you or instruct in the university in Poland now?
So now I'm working on the project. Now I'm
Okay.
working on the project because this project is big. It's 13 partners. It's Baltic Sea region project. It's called Stratkit, and it's about school cafeterias, and so innovation of the school cafeterias. So I can tell you a little bit more if you want to.
Yes, please, please. I would love to hear more about it. I have a few projects in mind who I would bring up as an example, but I'm pretty sure that you know more. So please give all these insights to us.
Okay, so it's actually funny how it started because I came back to Poland because my husband is here. So we were getting married. We were planning to get married. So I decided to come back to Poland. And on my way to Poland, on the highway where we had all my things packed, I was listening to this interview on the radio, and there was this professor called Professor Białkowska, and she was talking about organic agriculture. And I was like, oh, thinking what I will do in Poland. And I was like, oh, she's really smart. Like, I want to work with her. And so I wrote to her, and I wrote to her that I want to continue my research in school cafeterias, and I want to do it in Poland because in Poland the situation is getting worse and worse. So I wrote to her, and she's like, oh, Rita, that's amazing. We have this project coming up about school cafeterias, and I need somebody like you. And I'm like, oh my God, this is destiny. This is absolutely destiny. And so we met. And this project is amazing. I mean, it gives me a lot of, I'm very passionate about these things because it's mostly about food education. And so all the countries in the Baltic Sea regions are working together. And basically it started with mapping. So we've exactly examined and researching the situation, how it is now, doing the bad points, doing the good points, and, kind of creating the field for innovation. And now we will do the pilots, 6 pilots based on that knowledge, where we would put our ideas. All countries has different ideas, and we will try to make basically school cafeterias more sustainable and more innovative. And it's very interesting because we have very challenging city in Poland. It's called Rybnik. It's on the south. It's actually situated in the most polluted area of Poland.
Okay.
And so it's super interesting to work there. Also, the kitchen is very heavy there. So to change the mentality from, this heavy, meaty food to, something more sustainable, to open the minds and, to work with kids. It's just, it's a huge opportunity, amazing talent for me. So we will do that. We will do the pilot, hopefully from September, if the school will open.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, but what we are doing now are this kind of workshops between all the people connected to public schools system online. So we are already doing these workshops kind of where we invite, for example, 6 people from different sides of public school cafeterias or public school food system. And we kind of we are doing these educational workshops, and then they learn from each other, and we are thinking about solution. So a little bit design thinking workshop, let's say, not maybe exactly, but kind of. And so we already know so much, and we already researched so much, and it's incredible. The one thing that I'm super impressed is that one passionate school manager can change whole school, right? Can change it, and this is incredible. And this happens all over the world, in New York, but also in this little city of Rybnik. So yeah, super excited about that. Hopefully we can enter the schools in September.
Nice. I would have a very specific question regarding that, because I had to realize, I mean, I obviously not really connected to school canteens in Hungary because I haven't went to one for a very long time, but I had to realize recently that the procurement and the management of these cafeterias are centralized and run by the government. That also means that even if someone in an individual school would have very great ideas, it is a very long process to achieve this change. So is this project what you are doing addressing these difficulties as well, or how can you deal with that? Or are these prototypes or test kitchens are mainly in private schools?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Julia. And yes, this project is kind of targeting this issue. because it's working on this freeway model. So it connects administration, it connects business, and it connects universities. So this triple helix model, how they call it. And so we are working with the municipality of the city of Rybnik. So we are, as university, we are working from our side as research partners. And there is also some catering businesses, and also like the institutions that are in Poland connected to sustainable food. So we are working on different levels, and and the municipality is actually very active of Rybnik, and we also know from the interviews and the research that they also see the need for change and they want to change. So we tackle the problem from different perspectives. And it needs to be tackled from different perspectives because, the biggest obstacles are, the law from the public procurement, which is very difficult. The criterion of the lowest price for food that the manager has to buy, but also food waste, but also mentality is a huge problem. So.
Yeah, that was the other thing. As much as I know that we in Hungary have also a very meat-heavy kitchen. However, I never considered that myself too much, and I never realized it in my own family kitchen till I recently went back. And I don't know, I mean, how did you grow up? I don't remember eating meat every day. And nowadays it seems like it's not normal if you don't have at least 3 times meat per day.
Yes, obviously I didn't eat meat every day for sure. I don't really remember food on my school canteen, actually. That's also a very interesting fact, but I don't. But I don't think it was meat all the time. And nowadays, I think meat got so cheap, and even if the meat is not really meat, because if you read the ingredient list of the salami or something, the meat is like, I don't know, 10%. Somehow it became this boom for meat, and it's hard to like. I know from the research that sometimes parents in the city say if because they have to do one day without meat. And the kids in that day they will give an extra meal at home because the vegetarian meat is not treated as a real meal, as a real dinner.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And how is the sourcing? Because Poland is a pretty big country, and I assume that climate-wise, you also have a lot to grow in your own region. Or is it rather what I experience sometimes, that it's a lot of cabbage then in winter time and nothing else? So how would you define the variety what is actually available?
No, Poland is obviously a big grower. We have a lot of farmers. The problem is that the problem with organic farmers is that they are not really networking. There is not this big network, and they are not organized. Also, we don't have the green procurement law. We don't have we don't have the government that is kind of promoting organic agriculture and is taking care of it. So that's the problem. On the other side, we have these conventional farmers that are using pesticides a lot. I read now the new research, and it's kind of scary because they're buying the substances illegally also. And so we need like a good policy. We are missing a good policy in that segment, definitely.
Yeah. So if we look at your your own procurement, and also the past few months where we obviously had a different way of lifestyle, and did that actually have any influence on your procurement and cooking or any kind of food related habits?
Yes, I think everybody felt that. I don't know. First of all, I think it gave me comfort cooking and baking during the crisis, during the very anxious situation. So we started doing bread. I mean, I was always cooking a lot, but I started doing things that I didn't do before, like bread or yeast cakes or, pasta more often. And, we wanted also to kind of not go to the supermarkets. So we would order our food online, or we would buy only from the local farmer, or we would buy just once a week, do the shopping, which is actually not a bad idea at all.
Yeah.
But what I noticed is that my friends who didn't cook at all suddenly start to make breads or rolls, and they were, and that was, and for me, that is amazing, because it means, we can do it if we want, and it's not difficult, and it's cheaper actually. And if you look at the ingredient list of the cheapest bread in the supermarket, you have like 10 things, and when you're doing bread you by yourself, you know that you have two or three things to put inside. So for me, I saw it as an opportunity for change. I don't know if it'll last, but as educators, we should, kind of remember this moment and talk about it, because I'm sure it will stay with people. I mean, this feeling of kind of coziness and home, and these things that give you your like safety area where you can just concentrate on cooking with your family, and also that idea that it's not so difficult, to cook.
Yeah.
And you don't need like experts or celebrities to tell you that this, you cannot eat gluten, or you have to avoid milk. You just cook and you feel good, because the food that you cook is probably better than the one you would buy ready made. So
Yeah, that's true.
so I had like epiphany.
Yes. But then you mentioned that organic farmers in Poland are not really networked and organized. Did you see any change in that sense? Because I saw a lot of these farmers now, maybe they were supplying rather restaurants and food service providers in the past, and now they needed to approach end consumers. And on that way, some of them either created a collective and did it together. Did you see any of these initiatives popping up?
Yes, I definitely saw interest in organic farming, more interest. I was trying to order the organic pasta that I was always ordering, and I couldn't because they were sold out.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
definitely, people. I think it was two things. One was people were scared to go to supermarkets, and the other thing, they started to think about their health and the immunity system, which is what they should do, and what we should be doing also now, because obviously there's a huge connection between diet and immunity system. So yeah, I saw that, and I saw more and more groups doing like this communal shopping, and yeah, so it's definitely interesting. Yeah.
And just out of curiosity, is it a big price diff in Poland? Do you still have a huge price gap between conventional and organic produce?
So yes and no. Yes, because when you go to the organic shop, the business owner will give you a huge, additional payment.
Markup.
And it's in Poland, it's a lot. They do sometimes 60%. But if you buy from the farmer, like I'm buying from the farmer, I know the farmers, I'm going, it's like even 50 kilometers, sometimes I will go. And the prices are not so different.
Okay, so it's that extra time or effort what you have to put in, but basically the prices are not different compared to conventional supermarket offers.
If you buy directly, they're not so different. And what we're missing are those kind of farmers market. Like, remember in Reggio Emilia?
Yes.
We don't have that. We have that only in Warsaw, but it's kind of fancy, and those farmers have to also pay there for the stand. So the prices are maybe not also so good. But if we could organize something like this in the smaller cities and invite the farmers, and the municipality could just give them the space. I think that would be very helpful.
Yeah, that's what I also felt, that now we keep talking about how will we feed urban environments. And at the end of the day, urban environments actually have very good, like, supporting systems and different ways how you can find food. However, all those like rural environments which are more industrialized, so they do not have such connection to food either, or growing their food either anymore. There you literally, like, I would consider them slowly as food deserts, and we always connect food deserts with the US, that it only exists there, so that's their problem. But I feel that this is also actually existing right next to us.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, there's more, and it for me, it's like people start, like when I go to the market, to the kind of farmers market in my city, in Płock, they're only older people. Like the young people, they don't have this, even this, this, I don't know, feeling, know how, I don't know how to call it, but they don't have this urge to go to the market, to the farmers market. They are used to supermarkets.
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah,
something.
and that's their comfort. Exactly, that's their comfort. And yeah, I definitely understand this. So, because we are approaching the end of our conversation, I would ask you my final question. If you could describe in a few words, how would your preferred food future look like? It can be utopistic, please.
Utopistic. Okay, so okay. So I would love that kind of farmers market that were in Reggio Emilia to be like everywhere in Poland, in all the cities. I would love farmers, organic farmers, to have connection to, the local people that live close to them. And, I would love that. And
Sorry, we
so I
didn't
would
hear
love
the
that.
last words of the last sentence. We quickly disconnected. Could you just repeat the
Okay.
last part of your sentence? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, I would love to see how the trust is growing between the organic local farmers and people. And because what I observe in Italy, which I think is winning in Italy, is how this farmers market work. I mean, people are so interested in the farmers, and so the farmers are trying to do their best for the people. And they are talking about agriculture, they're talking about the recipes, they're talking about health. It's all about the food, so it's all connected. And so I would, for Poland, for me, that's my kind of utopistic vision. Maybe not utopistic, maybe it's just a matter of time, but I would love that. And I would love the idea that organic food is 90% and the conventional it's 10. And yes, so for that, but I know that for that we need a lot of food education and a lot of help from the government and policies. But that's my.
Yes, please go on and change this one school at a time. That would be great, at least first in Poland, and then we can replicate. You have a model, what is working, we will just change it. I mean, like in Hungary, I think everything which works in Poland would work in Hungary too. Yeah, so Rita, thank you so much. It was very insightful. Thanks for sharing all these food education stories. For the audience, thank you for being here. This conversation, if you didn't listen from the beginning, will be available on Instagram TV after we finish the conversation, as all the other previous conversations as well. And there is one more thing I have to mention. Please visit the website in our bio and check out our digital bootcamp, which is starting in July. It's a 4-week immersive program in 4 different topics: climate smart cities, farms, oceans, regenerative kitchens, with very interesting people from all over the world, including alumni as well, who we already interviewed before. So there will be a lot of stories from all over the world which can inspire you, and we will also help you to somehow tap into your local community. So Rita, thank you again. It was very joyful, and take care.
Thank you so much. Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.